just to give these guys a little props. I mean, they're. I'm really interested in talking to them. If we don't get them onto this show, I want to talk to them next week. But it's Scott Goldberg. It's Paul Kratka. He's the star of Friday the 13th. Part 3. He gets his head squashed. Jason pops his eyeball out, and it comes at you in 3 dimension. And but I was saying before.
So are they working on some projects together? There's another call.
Yeah, they're working on 3 projects together, and I was telling something before. It's like they're working on 3 projects, and I got an email from them saying that they sent me some stuff in my email, and I never received it because it was only in my Facebook. So
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I wanted to review their projects that they had in the works, but I didn't have a chance to do so. So.
Hello, this is Paul Kratka calling in.
Hey, Paul. We were just talking about you, and I'm a big fan of your character in Friday the 13th Part 3. It's a great role, dude. I was just wanted to tell you that's how you died. It's wonderful.
I appreciate that. It's very kind of you, but I think you should maybe seek professional help.
I mean, but come on, you got.
Yeah, he really does.
You have to admit that
like
for 3D effects, that's really, really outstanding for the time, But. So
what did Paul have to go through in that part of the movie, though?
Well, it's interesting you say that. It was many years ago, and I'd been studying at an acting school in North Hollywood, and a buddy of mine had been out to meet these casting directors to go audition for this film, and he just said, "Hey, Paul, you really should try and get in and meet these guys, just because they're really, really nice guys." A guy named Bill Eamon and Dave Little, and so I ended up getting an audition, and I went in there for the part that my friend had read for, which was the part of Danny, I think it is.
Okay.
And so when I went in to read, the casting directors indeed were really, really nice guys, super nice guys, which is not always the case with casting directors and so forth. Sometimes they can, they're just under pressure and they don't have a lot of time, and they're just, it's just not the best environment. Anyway, these guys are really cool, and so I go in and I read for them, and they say, you're not right for that part at all, but you're just perfect for the lead. Can you come back, tomorrow and meet the director and the producer, Steve Miner and Frank Mancuso Jr.? I said, of course I can. And then as I was leaving, one of the casting directors said, I got to tell you that a couple weeks ago I was at home for lunch, and I never go home for lunch. And just so happens my wife happened to be home, and she's never home either. She just happened to be home that day. She worked, and so it was just one of these really odd circumstances where he went up for lunch, his wife was home, and she happened to have the TV on, and there was General Hospitals on, and I had done this small part on General Hospital, and he saw it, and he turned to his wife and said, he's telling me the story. He said, I turned to my wife, and I said, God, that guy did a pretty good job in that little bit of time he had there on that role. And so then I show up, a few weeks later in his casting office, and so that was a great connection. And then as I was leaving, they said, by the way, this guy that you're reading for the part for this movie, he's a guy that lives out in the country, so he's not a city kid, so don't dress like a city kid, And, he probably works as a carpenter or something like that, And so I came in to read the next day for Frank Mancuso Jr. and Steve Miner, and I went in wearing blue jeans and work boots and a work parka, and then I carried in a couple 2x4s on my shoulder and a skill saw in my other hand, like I was a carpenter, and they just ate that up. They thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Very cool. Yeah.
And so that started it, and then the funny part about that interview, and then I'll stop, is they said, hey, have you seen Friday the 13th Part 1 or Part 2? And I looked at them, I go, I'm really not into those kind of movies, so no, I haven't seen either of them. And they both look at each other and just kind of roll their eyes and go, God, it's our luck. We get a Joker that hasn't even seen our other movies,
So horror is not your genre, I take it.
Nah, it's not. I mean, I love working on them. I love doing it. But if I'm going to go see a movie or whatever, that's not at the top of my list, I guess.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie, Paul? We've been talking about favorite movies, and what types of movies inspire you, if you will?
Well, I like dramas and kind of mystery drama. Like on the flight, I flew from the West Coast out to the East Coast today, and I put a DVD that I picked up at Blockbuster. I put it in my computer and watched it, and it was a movie. This isn't my favorite movie, but just to give you an example of the movie, it was called A History of Violence with what's that guy's name? I can't pronounce his name. His last name starts with a V. Oh man, he was in Lord of the Rings. What's that guy's name?
Oh, Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, Viggo.
Yeah.
And he was in it, and oh God, I'm just drawing a total blank here now that you're asking me. Anyway, it's a great movie. Really enjoyed it. Another movie I like that's one of my favorite movies. I don't have a favorite, but one of my favorites is To Live and Die in L.A.
That's an old movie. That's a cool movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and, that guy, he's now on CSI, one of the CSIs, and I thought that was a good movie because all the good guys ended up turning bad. And so it was a really kind of, at the end of the movie, you're like, okay. I mean, it was a great story. That's what I really love to start with anything, is that it's a good story. It's not overacted. It's not contrived. It's not obvious. It's real enough to believe, and then, I thought that movie was just really well done. It was very believable, and everybody just kind of turned out to be kind of scumbags in the end. I thought that was an interesting way to structure a plot line,
What I was actually speaking with Scott earlier. What are the 3 projects that you guys are working on together? The 3 movies that you guys have in works right now.
Well, we have Loss of Hope, which we finished last year, and that's kind of a post-apocalyptic short. And then we did Mr.
already.
Mullen most recently, that just got released, and it's another. Scott's kind of in downer movies right now. He's really into making political statements, and so that's about a kind of a guy who loses everything due to corrupt politics of our day, and he goes off and kills the mayor of this town and his family and everything. And I just played a politician who was the predecessor to that politician who gets killed. And then most recently we've been working on this film called Militia 15, again about some kind of disenfranchised guys who, are very suspicious of the government, and they really start looking into, they go out and start, investigating what's going on out there at Camp Hero and the history of mind control and what they might be doing presently in this quote unquote, no longer, this kind of inactive intelligence base, which is no longer really inactive. It is actually active. Anyway, I play a guy that goes out there and starts looking around, and he gets caught up in the mind control experiments, and it just twists his mind to the point where he ends up killing himself.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah.
So that's man. Those things sound awesome, dude. All those sound pretty cool.
Yeah, they are good. Like I said, Scott's kind of in. He's really into making a political statement right now. He's really passionate about that, and that's a really strong position to come from as a filmmaker. Is that you really believe in something passionately?
It's kind of things that could happen.
I just keep. Yeah, and I think that Scott is just a brilliant cinematographer. He's just fantastic, and so I really like the look of his films.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the trailers. If possibly, I'm hoping, because I made a note.
Yeah, it would be cool to see those, dude.
I made a note. I was telling Scott when you called in, I wanted to see the 3 trailers that were sent, but for the last thing, I don't know. There was like something sent in the Facebook. It said it came through on the Facebook, but nothing came through on my email. And I was just like, wow, okay.
I want to see the apocalyptic one, definitely, dude.
I want to see all 3.
Just because I like that whole apocalyptic thing too. That sounds really wild.
Yeah.
But it's probably maybe not what you're envisioning. It's about a guy who's stuck in his basement after a nuclear attack with his daughter, and they're just fading because they're the atmosphere is deteriorating, and then the guy's just sitting there kind of reminiscing about what a good life they had and how we should have seen this happening, and with the politicians and the corruption and so forth. And
sounds
so
familiar.
it's not like, have you seen the Book of Eli?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's not like that.
It's
it doesn't
not
have
as
that rich.
it's not as action based on that. Yeah, I understand.
Right. It's not a lot of exterior action based shots, and But like I said, Scott has a real eye and for composition, and with his camera, he's a tremendous cinematographer, and he's getting better and better at telling stories. And I keep encouraging him to really, work on telling good stories and combining his artistry with storytelling. And so yeah, Scott's a good filmmaker, very passionate.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested in talking with him on a future show, just because we got cut off on the last talk. You know what I mean? And it's always cool to talk to the originators for all the projects. I think because it
is. You get a feel for what's going on with the project. You talk to the creator.
Exactly. Find out all that's going on. A little. I don't want to say all the nitty gritty, but it's like there's always
behind the scenes are nice too.
Yeah, because it's not always just all. It's movies, man. It's I don't want to say it's work, but it's work.
There's a process that goes into it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of gray hair and a lot of sweat but
it's always a labor of love.
That's right.
And there are moments whenever you're making a film where the labor of love becomes a task. It's a job because things aren't going well, or the conditions aren't cooperating, or your technology breaks down, or whatever it might be. And so then it becomes a much more challenging to keep the passion and keep the creativity flowing in the midst of just a lot of stuff going on,
Yeah, hear that, man.
Cool.
It's movies.
It's show
That's
business.
right.
Show business. It's all the glitz and glamour for the Hollywood, for all that, I don't want to say the
we got to get some behind-the-scenes stuff going.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we got to show that.
Yeah, Scott's really good about documenting behind-the-scenes stuff, so... Yeah, I'm surprised because, I think Lost of Hope is online, the full version, and there's trailers for Mullen, and Mullen is actually done now, I believe, and Militia 15, there's a trailer out, so I'm surprised that those links didn't come through on your email, so I'll let Scott know, and he can resend them over to you.
Yeah, I want to check
out.
them out, if we could, maybe play them on maybe the next show or something for just to take a break and just to show what's going on. Because eventually we'd like to get a lot of the movie makers in studio, because we have a couple things coming on that we're looking to change, change our venue, if you will, change our base. And
there you go.
That's just building, slowly building, getting a little bit more support from more viewers and hopefully some more advertisers. That's what we're looking to do eventually. And we do have actually a couple specials coming up, really big special that's going to involve, I don't know, how could I tease it just by saying it's going to involve Guinness.
Dancers.
It's going to involve dancers. It's going to involve
flamethrowers.
Music. Maybe midgets.
Carnies.
All right.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I think it's great. I really think it's great that you guys are out there.
Spear throwers. Is that possible?
Spear throwers possible.
You're out there doing the bootstrapping.
Yeah.
Show that you guys do. That's an amazing thing. I know it's a lot of work on your end, and
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Congratulations.
Man. Thanks, man. We really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun, and you know what? It's definitely an experience. Just to see a different side of media. If you will, because it's like we both.
Well, it's like a big, huge festival, I imagine, where you'll just come in like in a big, huge hall. When we're going back to this event.
Okay.
Just where you'll just see a bunch of different dancers, singers.
You're gonna see everything. It's gonna be crazy because it's gonna be over a long period of time that we're gonna be doing some stuff, and it sucks we can't really just splurge.
Release it.
Yeah, we can't release it and splurge on it now, but it's really gonna be hot.
It's almost like an end of the world party.
Kind of, but we'll maybe do something around Halloween, maybe something that could be, something
tied into horror.
Something. Who knows? We might have a massacre of some sort.
Oh, that's nice.
We might have the event, and then we'll just go on a blood killing spree or something down the street.
There you go.
Something like that. But we'll just be like, it's only Halloween. It's all good fun.
What are you sniffing over there? Are you sniffing something over there?
We're sniffing paint. Nah, just kidding. Maybe not. But what? Another call.
All right, guys, I'm going to check out.
No, we're gonna kick you out of here, Paul, because we're gonna close up shop for tonight. But you know what, man?
All right, well, tell your fans to go to ScottGoldbergMovies.com on Vimeo and YouTube, and you can check out his work because he'd really appreciate it. So
cool.
Thanks so much for talking to me.
I appreciate it, buddy. Paul,
yeah, man.
Paul Kratka, guys.
Paul Kratka.
Yeah, good guy, star.
He's got some good project coming on.
Yep, we're gonna check him out. We're gonna play him next week and see what's up. And hey, we look to have Paul on the show on a future show. You know,
Yeah, I'd like to talk to him more.
a little bit more. You know what I mean? Such because we're going to open
Get
up
him and Scott going on here, and let's
Exactly.
hear it.
Yeah.